What's going on? My name is Marcus Whitley, and this is Good Behavior. Now, you can find me on all social media at I am Marcus Whitley and find all of my books, Both Sides of the Street, Choices and Consequences, Greatness Under Pressure, and Battling Demons, all on Amazon. Now, today I got a special guest with me. Won't you introduce yourself to the listeners?
Go by the name of Benefit, EMSCTN. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who definitely follow me on Instagram at BenefitCTN, Twitter, or whatever. What's it called now? X?
X, yeah.
X, whatever. Follow me there. Those are the only two social media platforms I currently use. I feel like they less personal. But yeah.
Okay. Now, the reason I got him here with me, because I've known him for years now. And we've both been incarcerated, so we know what it's like to be locked up. We know what it's like to be in the streets, and we know what it's like to come out and grind and be successful after. So I felt like this was an important episode for you guys.
Appreciate that,
Now,
man.
the, now the way we met was through a mutual friend that we had, and at that time, when I met this mutual friend, Benny was locked up, and I was out. I was doing music, and this kid became my manager, and he used to tell me stories about everything that Benny was doing, and I heard a lot about him. Like
Shout out to my guy, Born Fury. I
yeah,
know.
I heard that Benny will grind, and Fury saw that same hunger in me, so that's why he felt like it was important to connect us. And by the time he got out, I ended up getting caught up in the streets, and I got incarcerated. And then the the roles were switched, and now Fiore's telling Benny stories about me while I'm locked up, and then I'm hearing things that he's doing while he's out, and I'm locked up. So that was how we met. And then when I got out, we linked up and made history. Like we were out there traveling, doing everything together.
Right. Yeah, that shit was dope. Yeah, you think about that. I mean, definitely had the music bug at that time. I don't really got the music bug as much because that shit is just it's weird and it's too much. Like I like it in like an organic setting. I like my to do what I do. I do it for me. Um, I know I got a few fans out there that really fuck with me that buy everything I buy, and I really appreciate those guys. But it's nothing I can make a living off of. I also didn't really, you know. I don't know. It's so many things that's discouraging with that part of things. So at the time, I did have the music bug because I did come home from prison, writing every day, doing that, and I've been doing that shit since I was a little kid. So it was important to kind of like just you know fulfill that part, see where I could take it.
Yeah.
But then the kids come into play, and then you get torn between being a father, being present, or what I'm saying, really hitting it with the music. So I think I was in a better situation with like my kids and everything when you came home, where I felt like good about running from like my moral compass didn't feel like I was sacrificing something that was more important than this bullshit or these weird ass bitches and these corny ass dudes that yeah, just that part. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So during that time I was in a good place and I was having fun doing it. And I had a lot of fun, like really running around doing that shit. That was a lot of fun. Yeah.
I know we was running around. We felt like celebrities doing some shows. The energy was always crazy.
Yeah, I think the
It was a
working
good
out
time.
component, like being the rehearsal part of it, was dope, and I think that's something like all you inspiring artists. Shout out to my boy M Dot. He keeps me like in the loop and relevant, and like our little fan base that we have. And like I said, I don't want to say little. It's just like it's grassroots shit. It's our shit, and we appreciate all those guys. So, but in the midst of that, he kind of keeps me relevant with the music, and just always told me, man, like to kind of, you got to rehearse. You know what I'm saying? That's the
Yeah,
goal.
that was important.
You got to rehearse. Like even we have a show. We did like I think I did the Middle East a few months ago in Cambridge, and I was with him, and I just do what I do. It's not too much. I could always do more, but it's like for what? You know what I mean? But when we were in that stage, had the music bug. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to ramble on about it, but um, we're going out doing the shows, and the rehearsal component was like really instilled in me, like from working with my guy M Dot and doing all these shows. Like he goes overseas, he takes the shit really serious. He's one of the hardest working dudes I know. He doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't let negativity stop him. He just kind of has that laser focus. He ain't someone that's been locked up, so he sometimes like will butt heads because there's certain things or differences. But that's with anybody, you know what I'm saying? But the rehearsal component, and when we were rehearsing, our shit was on point, brother. And we look better than these young boys, bro.
Nah, that was huge because that stage presence and the coordination up there, like
There's something about like it's something about like dudes' egos.
right.
And I think that's a lot of when we talk about the recidivism rate and people going back to prison, a lot of that should be ego orientated. You know what I'm saying? Like you're, and we can get into that after, but ultimately
It's
pride, your
Everybody
ego.
want to be the center of attention.
Yeah, it's weird, man. It's weird.
But all right, let's get into this interview.
Let's go.
Now, I want to know, when you were younger, did you ever think you would end up in prison?
Fuck yeah. Every day, bro. Every day. Yo, I had a real fucked up upbringing. My shit was, people see me and be like, yo, he's a white dude, bro. My shit was different. It was a little weird. It's fucked up, I'm trying to like put together like a story. It's hard because it's all like so traumatic. Like every day was trauma in my household. So it's like going to prison, shit. I didn't know what the fuck was gonna happen. I remember being like a little ass kid, like trying to figure out how the fuck I was gonna better my situation. Like I'm gonna sell drugs, I'm gonna buy a beeper, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Some of my first like memories, and like I said, I'm trying to like put together like a book that could like tell my story, but it not be like, but like I can't really create a chronological order. Like it's all like just trauma after trauma, so it's really hard. So absolutely, bro, I thought I was going to jail at any given moment. I was in jail as a juvenile. I was the first youthful offender in Massachusetts. That's a fact. Armed robbery while masked. When they put the youthful offender law into place in Mass, I was tried. I was committed to I copped out. I was committed to the Department of Youth Services until I was, I think, 21 years old. I got extradited as an adult to like a juvenile facility because I apparently went AWOL, and then they locked me up in Westfield like I'm like a monster. And in Westfield, it's like, what the fuck? Who is he? Like, you know what I'm saying? But I was still committed to DYS. I moved out the state for a little bit, and it just, I got pulled over and I ended up getting extradited. So I was incarcerated at a very young age. I went through York Street, was like gladiator camp for kids. Motherfuckers was getting tore up. I still see dudes that worked at York Street, because remember now, I'm in my 40s. These dudes is in their late 40s, maybe their 50s, because I was a teenager. So they're 21. It's kind of like your job work. But, like they're in there. So, man, in York Street, man, they used to fuck us up, bro. Like if you came in there and you was a little weirdo, or you like did some weird shit to your mom, or you touched your little, you was getting your ass beat, bro. They was opening them doors and they was slapping you. They was making sure they wasn't leaving enough mark, but they was holding you down, mush, whatever they could do, they were putting that fear in your heart. And a part of that was that warranted or was it needed? But yeah, bro, I was going to jail like from a young age. Like I've been in and out of fucking prison. Was like how not to go to prison was kind of the thought process. Right. So when I was younger, I was a lot more violent because I was like rebellious. As I got older, I started getting more money orientated and trying to economically change my scenario, and how it became more about that. But initially to get to that point, and I'm at the statute of limitation. I mean, I was on a daily home invasion, you know what I'm saying? Like, and this is when I was, disclaimer, I don't live that lifestyle or anything. And I definitely reaped what I sowed. And you know what I'm saying? I definitely learned lessons from that. But like 100%, bro, it was like, every day was like, you're going to jail, brother. Every day I was getting arrested daily at one point in time, just because I was so frustrated, with my home situation, and I didn't know how to get out of it, bro. So it was deep, real fucked up. Like I was, so, and talking about like home invasions and shit, like I was at the stage where I ended up being on the wrong side of the home invasion and getting shot. And that kind of changed my perspective about living by the sword and dying by the sword, because dude had the opportunity to finish me, because the way we fell down, because I fought. I wasn't raised to be scared of guns. My pops used to shoot at me 100%. If you know anyone that knows me, that's everything. That's $1. Like my dad would shoot at me, and I've wrestled. People would tell stories about me wrestling the gun from. Just wasn't scared. So when dudes pulled the gun on me, I was like, the fuck, you little motherfucker. I was used to deal. My dad was in a wheelchair, but he was a monster, and that's why I used to try to pop at me because he couldn't get to me. It's like, you little
Right.
motherfucker, and he just let it fly. You know, so that was kind of, bro, I was going to jail, 100%.
Now, what was that whole situation like? With you saying you've been shot, I want you to let the listeners know what that felt like and the whole experience of after. Like, did you went to the hospital? You had to get the
Oh,
bullet
okay. I see
removed?
what you're saying. So you want to know like the experience, the actual experience
Yeah.
of getting shot. Like, okay.
Because I want to let these listeners know that it's not cool the way that they think it is running around with
Well, I
guns and
mean, I
shooting.
was laid up for a little bit. I mean, I obviously did my best to contain the situation, but like when you get shot, it's like it's inevitable. You gotta go to the hospital. So, you go to the hospital, they hit you with a tetanus shot. My shit was good. Luckily the way it went down, I didn't hit any main arteries or anything, so I was okay. Other than dude almost shot my shit off. I don't even think I could like feel. I still have nerve damage like through this whole side of my body that I really don't. For my leg extremity because that's where I was hit. I don't really feel. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. You just had a hole punch. You basically just took a hole punch and like put a hole in it. So all that shit got to come together. You're not really moving. You're sat up. It's not
Mm-hmm.
fun. It's not a fun. I mean, you're gonna deal with it. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah, absolutely. Like these dudes glorify, like, yeah, bro, that shit hurts. It may not hurt in the moment. Like luckily for me, like it'd be different if I couldn't imagine just be like, chilling and someone,
Yeah.
bow, pops you, and that probably feels the worst. But when you kind of seen it coming, how
Yeah.
I seen it coming, I didn't feel it in the moment. I was thinking survival mode. I'm
Right.
ready to fight. You know what I'm saying? So
But when all that adrenaline goes away,
right
you
now
gotta
you're
feel it.
sat up. You're toast. You're not that like twisted. Like I had the spot that I had to move, and I couldn't even physically do this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Luckily, I had some good friends around me that moved all my furniture for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna just you get shot, you gotta like move around. You know what I'm saying? You can't be just sitting there and you're like a fish in a tank, just getting shot at.
Yeah, no, that's. I remember when I got stabbed, like yo, that shit hurt.
Stabbing hurts more. I've been stabbed too. That shit hurts a lot more. Also depends on like the person that's stabbing you and what their intentions are. If they stab you and they lift that knife or something,
Oh yeah.
yeah, bro, that has like a different vibe. Like, dude try to like fucking take my whole like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's a different feeling, and it's not like, yeah, that's
That's why these kids out there, they gotta know like this shit is no
nah.
joke.
This doesn't feel good.
Because first off,
And some
when
of
it
these dudes
happened,
is soft as shit. Like, how do y'all go from like mommy, mommy, and then you're getting stabbed and shot? All this. That's the level you want to go. Like, that's a weird transition for me to really kind of gauge. Like, chill out, bro. Like, go do a boxing match or something. Like
right? Like
something.
whatever happened to fighting? Like it ain't like it
People
used to
don't
be.
like getting
Like
their ass whooped, bro. It goes back to the pride. It goes back to
exactly.
that. But that's why the gloves is and having a referee is different. I think and I think there's a difference between fighting and being a bully. You know what I'm saying? And I think
Mm-hmm.
people gotta recognize the bully and sometimes converge on the bully. You know what I'm saying? Like stop riding the bully if you feel that within yourself. Like, damn, this don't feel right. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? You shouldn't be doing it. But some motherfuckers, that's how they make a living. Power is a crazy feeling.
Yeah.
Talking about like some of those like more violent crimes. Um, Bro, when you get that vibe, it's like I don't know. I try to find ways to replace it because it's intoxicating. So you really got to know it's like power. You're in control. You're doing whatever you want. You have your way. You got to fight that feeling, man. Because and I think that might be it too for the kids. It's like they get a taste of that,
Yeah.
but that's the evil, bro. Like that shit isn't gonna bring you nothing good. In the end, jail really sucks. Like shit, I would rather get shot than go to jail to some degree. At least I got my freedom. As long as I'm not, I mean, I'm still working here, but like, I know some dudes that's in the chair and shit from getting shot. So, um, I don't know, bro. I don't think
Yeah, no, that's scary.
I
But
think I'd rather be free though. You know what I'm saying? As long as I don't want to be in a wheelchair, but yeah, prison's kind of
yeah, nah,
weird.
that's one of the worst things in the world. Worst experiences. Now, getting back to that, with all that time you were facing on that big bid you did Did it change your perspective on life?
Yeah, man, I did a lot of soul fucking searching. I was by myself, you know. You're amongst the best of the worst if you're lucky. You know, you still got to sort out a lot of weird shit that goes on. You got to remember, there's like whole different classes of people now. You're coming from the streets where we at least grew up together. You don't know none of these motherfuckers, and some of these dudes you don't really know them, and you ain't gonna get to know them because everyone's a master of disguise. Because if a motherfucker is a raper or a rat, they're trying to like weasel around. They're not trying to be, exposed. So, or they're like they killed their daughter or something weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, so first you got to focus out that, and then whatever you got, that's what you're left with after that. And that's a good portion of the people. You know what I'm saying? If you're in like a
Yeah.
secure treatment center, like, yeah, yeah, I don't know.
Now, at what point in your life did you feel like something had to change? Like you were just tired of the way that you were living. You didn't want to come back here anymore.
I mean, I think every time I felt that way, that I went back from the juvenile to the adult carcerations. Um, I think at the end there, I got really lucky. You know what I'm saying? I never had luck in the legal system at all. I think when I was a juvenile, I got a lot of chances. You know what I'm saying? They were just like, what's wrong with this kid? We got to lock him up. You know what I'm saying? And I understand that, but they wasn't getting it. Like you ain't figuring it out for me. Well, I'm figuring it out. And I think some of that programming and some of that, respect for that secure treatment center as a juvenile was a wake up call within itself. Like I was able to see it and be like, okay, I don't want to be here. You know what I'm saying? But then I get out and I become an adult offender, and that's more like being driven by, having kids at a young age, not having like a mommy or daddy that I can lean on. That's what I'm saying. A lot of people, and that's why I don't do that shit for my kids either, bro. Like and not to change the subject or go into and not fully answer the question, but that's why I don't give them everything because I wouldn't be who I am if I just had everything handed to me. My character was based on my experience. You know what I'm saying? So, but once I got out of that, I think the kids was really, I feel like I did better with realizing it than a lot of other people because I had kids home while I was incarcerated.
Yeah.
Um, so my motive was to get money to kind of take care of my family and get us into a different place. Ultimately, I got jammed up and, I care about my reputation. I ain't gonna tell on anyone, so I'm gonna take responsibility for my actions. I felt like that was a big step. Like a lot of dudes don't even do that. Um, if you did something, I'm not saying go, but if you got caught red-handed, why let the buck stop? Why you got to bring someone else down? Like you fucked up, you made the mistake. The buck stops with you. Take responsibility. So I was on bail, and when I had to go finally get a plea bargain because I had multiple cases, that created a situation of responsibility where I had to come in from being on bail and turn myself in. I think that's I felt that was the right thing to do just to get it out the way, and then didn't know what to expect. And going through prison and just seeing that, I think for me was the actual turning event where I didn't go back. But then like that, my longest stretch, I didn't really have I didn't have any intentions of going back and I was trying to do my best. And then my mom died. And when my mom died, that kind of like set me back. And then I picked up another case. So I can't even use that longest stretch as an example of why I stopped because I still caught another case. And that's where we lost contact is when I caught that case
Yeah.
or where that switch, that role, like Fury started helping you out versus working with me. Like you were in or was it the other way around? I was in and you were out, and then you went in and I
Yeah.
was out. So that's where that happened because I caught that case out in Texas. And now that made things a little tricky. That shit was fucking crazy, but I can't use that stretch as a reason. I think honestly, nothing really made me stop other than things started working out. And I just, staying true to my principles, which I developed by doing that soul searching. You know what I'm saying? Starting to define myself and standing on my business and understanding who the fuck I am. And till this day, I live by my code that I created. It ain't no one else. I've never been a gang member. I've always stood on my own. I die for my shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not a bad person, so I just try to live the best, whatever uh, what's the word? Repercussions or retribution I had to pay for shit I did in the past. I've done my fair share. Probably still not, still probably not in the equilibrium of karma, but it's just trying every day to be better. So I feel like when things started working better and the work ethic started paying off, that's what kind of he moved me out of the way, and then kind of getting past, like the death of my mom, like, because my mom and my dad both died. When my mom, and I'm an only child, so the brothers I have are the ones that I've created. You know what I'm saying? My family is my family of, and it's all types of weird looking people. You got white people, tall ass black people. They're like basketball players, and then you got fucking, what I'm saying, Puerto Rican dudes and Asian dudes. Like, so my shit's like really diversified, and I think that comes with, just growing up the way I did.
Yeah. Okay, so how long has it been since the last case you picked up?
Ooh, that's a good question. And this is a good conversation. Like, I'm not a Trump supporter at all, but if he gets in there, bro, they got to do something with my situation, man. Like, take this shit away. Like, really, like, I don't. You let this dude. He's going to the highest office. He getting the best job on the planet, and he's a convicted felon, my man. Like, no matter how you immunity, give me some motherfucking immunity out here. I deserve it, but like, I don't know. I think it was 2010 was my last case, so a good 14 years. I've been doing good.
So since then, what has kept you from going back and going back to that lifestyle?
I'm telling you, it's the things starting to finally unfold, man. You know what I'm saying? Just really luck. I got lucky. I had it's a good story actually, a real good one. I ended up getting a job on Craigslist. I was like working at like the 99. I had a probation officer at the time. I was looking for a job, and I know my worth. I know my potential. I got this job. Guy hired me on the spot. Really liked him. I was with my ex-wife at the time, and I started working here, and I just committed to the company, and he started like mentoring me. You know what I'm saying? But before that, it kind of got like it was ill because I couldn't. I had to take a Corey after I was hired. After I was working there for a while, and dude, obviously that's what we're talking about, the Trump thing, the transition, and like at what point 14 years is considerable. He got like 14 days and he's the fucking president. Matter of fact, like legit, like 5 months, this dude's gonna be the president. I got 14 years under my belt. You know what I'm saying? No charges, nothing. So boom. So my bad. So he gave me we had the mentorship. He started like, whatever. But before that, like I had to take a Corey test to get to a certain establishment. I had to do a catering job. And obviously I can't get it. You know what I'm saying? So, that was the analogy of Trump. Like this motherfucker is automatically in office and I got 14 years under my belt. That's a long run. So, when he asked me about it, like, well, what happened? And I said, bro, like, I was, like, well, why didn't you tell me? I'm like, bro, you didn't fucking ask. I wouldn't have lied to you if you said, like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, well, have you ever been convicted of? That wasn't nothing. You judged me on my character. You see my personality. I came in there. I did the interview. You gave me the job. So he said, well, and so I told him, like, yo, bro, you never asked. And he was like, well, don't you think that's something to say? I said, not really. At the end of the day, I want you to judge me on who I am and my work ethic and what I'm bringing to the table and the person I am. I'm like, I'm not a fucking rapist. I didn't tell on anyone. I didn't, I didn't hurt anyone for the crimes that I went to prison for. I just, I was a young kid. I had kids and I was hustling, bro. I was trying to make a means to feed my family, and motherfuckers told on me and didn't let the buck stop. And for whatever reason, actually, they fucking cold-heartedly lined me up, like my own family. So I still got fucking trust issues. Like, different topic. So I just told him, like, yo, bro, exactly like that. Like, I'm a good person. Like, I'm not a thief. That was the other point. I hate fucking thieves. I'm not a snake. I never stole. I'm not going to steal from you. I'm like, I know how to get money. Like, and I broke it down. I've owned businesses. They may be failed businesses, but I've done this. And, I've held over $100,000 cash in my hands. And this is, back in 2010. That's not like, it was just a point I was making. Like, bro, this is, like I'm an asset to you. Like I was at that, I was like almost in like a sales pitch mode because I didn't want to lose the job because I liked the place. I felt like this was the opportunity because it was like a family business for me to excel within the company because that's the way he kicked it to me. Like that's what he was looking for. Right. And then he kept me on, gave me a shot. And then, ultimately I'm at where I'm at now. Yeah. So he just basically gave me a shot. So that was a turning point. But had that dude didn't come through, and didn't see that in me, and I didn't keep fighting or whatever, who knows, brother? Like I'm not. I'm blessed in a sense that I don't have to resort to the things I was resorting to, you know. And I think that's what it is. Everyone needs their break, and you just gotta at least try. If you're gonna do something, give it your all. And you know what? I never missed a day of work. I was always there, even with the music shit. If I would have to go to Maine, my wife would drive me back. Shout out to her. She's done like everything. You know, that's another thing. Like I think having that like union with her and her
Yeah.
being very like supportive of me and all my bullshit made things different too. So I think those the kids, the components. You know, I had someone that mentored me, gave me a career. I'm saying, seen past my bullshit.
Nah, see, yeah, that's important. Now,
But you can't. No one's gonna see that if you have no good character. If
right,
you're if you talk the talk but you don't walk the walk. If you say you know you're gonna be there and you got to be a man in your word. You got to show up, man. You got to be
right,
on time. You got to be fucking early. You know what I'm saying? Like look at all the success stories. Kobe. You listen to fucking. He was there before me hours with his ice knees. Like bro, you got to do what everyone else won't do.
mm-hmm,
When other motherfuckers is complaining, you're fucking pushing. You're going hard. If you're not doing, and it doesn't matter what you do,
right. You have to do that in anything.
anything, if it's gonna be truly successful, you know, the music shit didn't have as much success as that because this allowed me to go in. It allowed me to balance my family. You know what I'm saying? To my
Right,
kids, where I felt like I was already out their life for 4 years. At this moment, had this thing. This is my opportunity to like really, you know what I mean, zero in and be a dad. You know what I mean? Because what's their other option? The shit was not going good when I wasn't there. So the work and the career, I was able to put it all to that. And then when I got the partnership with my wife, I was able to start really moving around with the music on top and sacrifice. Like go there, still not miss a shift. Because I knew that was my bread and butter, brother. This music shit is fun, but that was my bread and butter,
right.
100%. And investing in myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like keep educating myself, knowing what I know and knowing what I don't know, and even the shit I do know, be willing to take a refresher. No, I'm not fucking above to continuously learn.
Right,
And I think that was a good thing for me in prisons because every learning opportunity I had, whether it was school, whatever, I done seen dudes get mangled in the fucking classroom. I was in there like trying to like learn how to type. I taught myself how to type in prison, like for real, like crazy. Because all that time as a juvenile, I fucking threw school away because I was fucking out fucking up. I didn't learn all that shit. So I had to go back and learn. I had to get my GED. Well, actually, I didn't get my GED in prison. I didn't even study for the GED test. Like I had no high school credits, bro,
mm,
because I was convicted of a felon. And what happened to me was I got stuck in purgatory in Springfield. So everyone that knows me from Springfield that knows me as a kid knows me from the South End Community Center, you know what I'm saying? The Howard Street joint where that was became the suspended school. So because I had a felony at a young age, now remember I'm 14, 15, 16, this range, you know what I'm saying? I have a F on my shit that they don't gotta let me come back to public schools. So I got stuck in the suspended school because they started figuring out go to school, get suspended, fuck school, we out smoking weed, doing whatever. So they created the suspended school. But that was my actual fucking school because I couldn't go to any school because of my felony, bro. So that created a whole fucking situation where all my education came from when I was in DYS. So when I turned 18, withdrew from, I took the fucking GED test and I passed without fucking even studying. I just passed it. It was ill because that's the other thing about DYS is you went to school all year round. So when these
right.
motherfuckers was in fucking summer ready to come to DYS, I was in DYS going to school all right year round. You know what I'm saying?
Now, for my last question, do you feel like the streets has been more beneficial than the life you're living now? Because anytime that I see you on social media, I see you living that good life, like all these kids are addicted to that they idolize. Now, this is something that you've acquired not being in the streets after you were already done with the streets.
Right. I mean, I've always been really good with money, so that's been kind of like my thing. I've had some bad stints of luck. Definitely have a gambling problem that would probably even put me even further. It's just as bad as addiction as anything else. Um, but man, it's really about just like you said earlier, showing up, doing your job, working hard, and the beneficial component. I mean, I don't have to look over my shoulder like that. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, for motherfuckers, what haters and shit, like all right, bro, like you can try, and if you're successful, good for you. You ain't getting that. It's not like I live a good life because of, and I treat myself well, because if I don't treat myself well, who the fuck is? You know what I'm saying? If you don't,
Right.
it's a different level of like the oxygen mask. You know what I'm saying? So the streets to what I'm doing now, like I'm not hurting people now. I had to come to terms like that I'm not gonna hurt anyone anymore. That I don't want to go to prison for the rest of my life. I had to really like dig deep, look inward, and reshape everything. Like understand what's bullshit and what's not, and don't let anyone tell me anything other than my understand what I if someone shows me a flaw in the way I'm living, I'll still have that humbleness to look into it, but really trying to fucking create my own like code and call and bluff when I want. And I think that was, the point what got me there, got me to where I'm at. And then once I started really creating my principles and what I'm gonna stand on that I've created, like I'm not influenced. I mean, yes, obviously you're influenced by other things, but I see the bullshit. I see prison. I see the fuck shit. I seen all this weird shit. I seen even with like, I'm Italian dude. My dad was, what I'm saying, a connected guy, allegedly. And I don't really gravitate towards that because we was fucked up. Like, yeah, like everything, it's all bullshit. It's like, and if you really get in it and you stay in it long enough, you're gonna see it while you're in it, and it's gonna be too late. If you're on the outside of it and you're smart enough to examine it and pick up on this shit, you might learn a thing or two and keep yourself out the fucking way. So I think like being involved and not hurting people, the karma that's developed once you change your life and you're saying to yourself, like, and it don't got to be about God. My shit is less about God other than experience and enjoyment. Like going to the Celtics games and shit like that. We talk about that. It's like, bro, I watched the NBA Finals the last time we won it before this last time. The one we just won.
Yeah.
You know about that one. Yeah. On a little fucking see-through TV, bro. You know what I'm saying? So like
Right.
now,
you got one of these
now I've gotten out of that little room watching things in that see-through TV. How do I get to the game? Before I used to go to the games, it was ill-begotten, you know what I'm saying? But and that's the scary thing too, and that's what kind of brings you back too, because the lifestyle is so fucking addictive. Just like what we were talking about, the power earlier, how that feeling's addictive, lifestyle's addictive. So you're pretty much a crackhead regardless, but it's about, can you create the means to get there without hurting people? And then when you start looking at the difference of not looking over your shoulder, and you still have these tendencies of like, you see police, you're like, oh, and you're like, bro, you're not doing anything. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like the PTSD from being shot or having to constantly like look over your shoulder. Bro, you don't gotta do that no more. You're not even invested. And then just making your money work for you in other ways. So the hustle shit and what I learned from that and how I took my money and invested it kind of gave me, I've been doing really good for a while. And it's because I started putting my money and taking risks on things that had high reward, high risk, but they weren't illegal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then you start seeing like, yo, and again with other dudes, that man, like my boy AP, you know what I'm saying, that was in the feds, like we opened a club, me, him, my other boy Prophet, like, and you know, people that understand that need to not go back to watching the NBA finals. So what do? We're like boxing matches, and you know what's dope, bro? And this is what people don't understand. That's this trade off. The feeling that power gives me, the feeling that gambling gives me, the feeling that, maybe getting high or whatever, it's replaced by that adrenaline rush that I exert at a sporting event. Or, you know what I'm saying? Because it's what I do. It allows me, my team scores, we lit, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Going down there talking shit to guys dressed in orange and, like, it doesn't have to go to that level. When you're a fucking grown ass man, real recognize real, you understand it's not going to be an easy day and you have fun with it. You know what I'm saying? And if you know how to pick up, if you understand social cues, which if you ever have to go to prison, it makes you really good at that. And that's why people who have gone to prison are becoming more successful. Because, man, bro, we're dealing with shit that you're held accountable for every fucking minute.
Right.
If you're a fucking shitbag, you're cold on it. That's the problem with a lot of people you're going to interact with out here. They've never had to pay the piper. They never had to, you know what I'm saying? They never were held accountable. They always got by because they had some stupid privilege or something. But when you go through that and you have to behave a certain way, to come out of it unscathed, looking great, all your teeth. You know what I'm saying? You have to stand on your shit, bro. You have to have those principles I was talking. You better figure them out real soon. And
right, because they
right,
will call you out
yeah.
on it.
So next thing you know, you come out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Now you out here. You have a whole new set of understanding of social cues. You've seen all these different personalities. You basically are in a test study. You're in a living test study because you pop the belt, you walk around. You got the gamblers. You got the guys trying to get high. You got the dudes that are making the home brew. You got the gay dudes. You got, you know what I'm saying, you got the gang members, and you just see it all. And then you unfortunately, some of these people you have to deal with, and fortunately some of these people are good people, you know what I'm saying, that made mistakes and are on the path to changing. So you have an advantage is what I'm saying, because society and prison, things are set up differently.
Right, because one of the things.
But that's the good part you can get out of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a bad shit too. Like being institutionalized is a whole different level of test study, and that's what they want you to do. They don't want you to observe. They don't want you to elevate. They don't want you to get books sent in. They don't want you to go to college or go to program. They want you to sit there and learn nothing. You know what I'm saying? They want you to be they want you to keep the system going. They want you to pay the POs, pay the COs, pay the lawyers, pay the judge. You know what I'm saying? That's their MO.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, if you it's easy to fall into it. And when you fall into it, you develop these second nature habits that were actually brainwashed into you for you to come out here and fuck up and go back, because that's the only place you can work. That's the only place you can be functioning. Because you don't understand what part of that can be utilized out here and what part can't be. And that's a big problem. 100%.
Yeah, and it's crazy the way that they make it seem like they try to beat it into your head that you won't be able to function out in society anymore. So that's why a lot of people like.
No, it's weird, bro.
They fuck up and go back.
Well, yeah, we need to create like a reintegration service that's really fruitful and helpful. Meaning, pick a guy up, he gets his little check. They tell you how to do it. They give you this paper, but you really don't know how to do it. It's like asking an infant who never swum how to swim. You know,
Right.
You don't know where you got it. You like you don't even know how you're getting your next meal, bro. Like, it's just fucked up. There needs to be another step down from it, or just replacing prisons altogether. Outside of like these heinous weirdos, bro. I understand those guys. I think honestly we're wasting, labor hours allowing those dudes to live. Like, if it's bro, it's hard to say that, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I believe in second chances, but then you get conflicted. It's like, yo, bro, you popped your baby in the microwave. Something's fucking wrong with you, my man.
Right.
What's wrong with you? You popped your baby in the microwave. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's just like, you don't deserve to live.
Right.
Like,
certain people
your finger, they got camera footage of you. It's in like undisputable evidence. You popped your fucking baby in the microwave, bro. You die. Like, you should die. You know what I'm saying? And like, why are we paying labor hours? Can we get fucking AI to do AI robots to go in there and watch these and make them beat them up? Like, just hit the button, they do. Fuck out of here, bro. Or you fucking humped a little kid or like, bro, come on, man. Like, that's what I'm saying. So prison does need to exist for those, if we're not gonna like just totally purge, or and I get that too. That's like a different level. It's like matching evil with a different type of evil. Like, even thinking about it, like, you get worked up about it. But then if you have the sense, son tells you like, yeah, that's not really the best way to deal with it. It's probably better to just, because we're taking something that's bad, and then we're doing even worse. We're like taking their life. You know what I'm saying? Like, who are we? It's better to let them like be in a contained unit over there. But for nonviolent offenders, or some of these kids that are literally like 18, 19 and shooting like like they don't know what to, bro. Like, there has to be some point of they can get out of jail, bro. We gotta give them a chance. You know what I'm saying? And it's not giving them a chance unless there's like a step down that is actually fruitful, that actually fucking works, that has like good intentions. You know what I'm saying? And like, a lot of people get into that side of things for the wrong reason. So it's good that they're opening it up to people with lived experience, because we go back to the job thing and being disqualified. Hopefully that becomes nothing. Like, put an actual cap on it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, not too long, or have like, let's create something a little bit better, because that'll hold you back, bro.
Yeah,
it will hold you back.
Okay. So now I want to ask, what advice would you give our listeners to if they wanna live a better life without having to go into the streets?
Man, pay
Maybe
it.
they don't know how.
Yeah, reach out. Know, like I said, know what you don't know. It's okay to ask for help. You know what I'm saying? If something telling you something's not right, probably something's not right. If you want to make the change and you feel that, or you feel like something's worth more than fucking throwing your life away, or or you're paying, talk to somebody, reach out, ask for help. There is services out there. There is people to help out. I still like participate in uh, open conversation with a lot of people that are reintegrating into society from prison that served a lot of time, that have flipped their cases, and I always check up on them. I'm the worst friend, bro. I'm so busy that, but I do try to make time to be like, yo, what's up? Or if dudes call me, I try to pick up the call and give them have conversation and dialogue, and because that's sometimes all it takes, because we get in our own heads, and that's, like I said, that's what prison does to you. So
Yeah.
if you don't, it's hard to like you're going there. So if you don't know that you're going there, and you don't ever want to go there, then watch the company you keep. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Settle your life down, figure out your principles and goals and what you like to do, and do that. Put all your energy into that. If any negativity, any weird shit, and you feel it's weird, like if she says no, that means fucking no, and your boy,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, man. No, bro. That ain't what's up. Don't be afraid to stand on your shit, man. Know what's right and wrong, and that's weird. And just soon, if you know it's wrong, don't do it. If you need to find a means to make money, trust me, man. If you go to jail for 10 years and to try to make $10,000, because a lot of y'all motherfuckers is going to jail for a lot less than that, but that's $1,000 a year, my man. That don't add up. I don't care. That just doesn't add up. So you have to go to McDonald's, start getting a paycheck. You'll start respecting your money. That's the thing, motherfuckers want to run before they walk. It's that I wouldn't be where I'm at now, to go back to that question a little bit and say, like, if I didn't go through what I went through. I
Right.
touched on it. So unfortunately, life isn't fucking fair. But in order to stay out the way, you really gotta like watch the company you keep, man, and be responsible, learn from your mistakes, and don't look for excuses to just do some fuck shit. Like,
Right.
don't, if you know it ain't right, it ain't right. So I mean, I feel like, I wasn't as I wasn't incarcerated as long as I could have been, because I paid my lawyer. And I felt like, a lot of dudes got more time for me because they got caught for things that I was doing that I didn't do. I didn't have a gun on me at the time. I know dudes that got the same charges, but they had guns with them at the time, and they got way more time than me. That could have been me, 100%. Wasn't after I got shot, there was never a time I didn't have a gun on me. So the point I'm trying to make is like, you gotta like not get to that point and really just focus, man, and know what's right and what's wrong. And shit isn't fair. So if you get in those situations, just take responsibility for it and try to correct it. You fall, you're gonna win. You just gotta keep getting up, bro. Like, don't keep falling on your face and then eventually just lay there. If someone dies, don't use that as an excuse for you to give up on yourself, because they wouldn't want that for you. You know what I'm saying? They want you to continue with their life. If anything, live in their memory. All the things we make excuses for, get rid of that shit. It doesn't help. It's not anything. It means nothing.
Right. Because that's how we grow, from learning from our mistakes.
Right.
And we're able to do better.
Absolutely. 100%.
I hope you guys were able to take something away from this episode, and it was able to give you some insight into both sides of the street, letting you know that you can take a different path and still get to the same destination.
Definitely. More. You get fucking more at the end of the day, because no matter what, those things are still there. If you're selling drugs, it's either kill or be killed. If you're not willing to kill a motherfucker, then you really can't hustle, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because someone's going to come and if you ain't with it and you don't want to die, then you really can't hustle, because someone's going to come for you. And you got to be ready to deal with it. They ain't going to come for you if you proving yourself, but some people just like the fucking challenge. You know what I'm saying? Just want to do it. And you got to be prepared for that. If you pick up the drugs, you're going to sell the fuck. Like, that right there is a crime. So the less you're committing crimes, the less likely you are to go to jail.
Right. And the streets aren't the only option. So you need to understand that. There's so many other options that you can have. But you just have to want them and you have to go for them because they're not going to come to you.
And don't be one of these motherfuckers that goes back and forth and back and forth. Like, you got dudes, it's really disrespectful to the dudes that can't get out of there. It's really disrespectful to the dudes that can't get out of prison that see you come in multiple times on their bed. Like, they're gonna torture you, bro, because they just want that one shot. But, you know, to be honest, and I wanted to touch on this, and you can put this wherever in the interview, but like, you know, stay away from the drugs, man. You know what I'm saying? The drugs are different. I'm not talking about weed and alcohol, as long as it's within, as long as you're not blacking out and don't remember what you're doing and you're cutting people and waking up like, oh my God, what happened? I'm talking about like the drugs, like the fentanyl, the pills. Make sure you know where you're getting your shit because, bro, I've had a few people that I know that have come home. And I don't know why they did all these years and they started fucking with that. So understand that that's a slippery slope and that's the one thing. And you can't do nothing right on that shit. Like, and the shit like, it's not set up for you to live. It's set up for you to die, bro. It's like, and we're dying, bro. Like, dudes is dying. It's crazy. So definitely don't incorporate the drugs. That's the first thing, you know, stay out the way.
All right. Now I want to thank my special guest, Benefit, for coming through. Now share your info with the listeners so they know where to find you.
At Benefit CTN, Twitter, Instagram. Catch it while you can. It may not stay there. You might only be able to. I was thinking about Ghost and all that shit because I had social media for a while, and then I started cutting back because it was way too fucking personal and weird. Like dogs. You know how fucking busy I am. Like, I know I'm a bad friend, but like I can't keep up with like 20,000 people, like on like or whatever it is, 5,000 people, and then you got people again. Bro, it's weird. It's not just that. It's just like the negativity too. Like, you know what I'm saying? And the formability, like, or the addiction to the phone, like going into the apps. Yeah. So, you know, thinking about getting rid of social media, but for right now it's there. I'm not, I don't know, bro. It's just, it gets worse every day, bro. It's just like, it's not. So if all the content was dope, you know, or everything was cool, but they filter what we see. I want to be able to filter what the fuck they show me. And a lot of that has to be like, some people just, you know, put all this shit out there and it's sad. Facebook is good for funerals and fucking birthdays. That's why I don't, you know, I'm not really in tune to that because I got rid of the Facebook shit. So
a lot of people got to understand that social media is a drug.
Right.
And it's supposed
addictive.
It was meant to be a tool, but a lot of people don't use it as a tool.
Well, that's why I don't want to get rid of it because I still want to use the tool of it, the tool component. But when you start seeing yourself slipping into like wasting moments of your life,
right, you just become addicted to it.
Yeah, like you got to filter the content that you're like what you're subjecting yourself in. What are you taking into your essence? Like, and it's hard to do that with social media because it just shows. I don't know. It's weird. It's just it's hard to do. So like maybe I don't know. I think that's why like dudes like Drake and shit, or they'll have like following this one or doing things with this guy, and then he just has someone else doing it because you just really. I learned that lesson like I was on a trip and I was like dancing, and my shorty like whoop to me because I was doing like a Snapchat video. That's why I was like, yo, what the fuck was I just doing? And she's like, yo, you literally just stopped dancing on me to take a video, and I was like, yo, she's right, bro. Like, I am the fucking moment. You know what I'm saying? I am living you know what I mean? What the fuck? I don't need to be, man, fuck. If you ain't here, you ain't here. We back to the essence. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, back in the day before that shit, like, you had to be there to understand what was going on.
It's a little easier for us because we were alive.
Still hard,
before
though.
That.
It's still a struggle. Bro, you post enough, I post enough where it's like, getting rid of that shit could be fruitful. But then it's like you want to promote the message and you want to use the tools to do the right thing for it. So you just, you know, it sounds stupid, but like limiting the amount of time you do that, check it once a day. But it's hard also when you're trying to push content. And I don't know, man. It's a different subject altogether. That's a whole nother conversation.
All right. But my name is Marcus Whitley and this is Good Behavior. So until the next episode.